What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. 10.6 updates notes just dropped. Let's take a look at them. Starting with the Soul Surges, they have lost 30 health on scaling. Honestly, this really doesn't mean much. They're still going to be annoying. They're going to be stopping your backs. You'll just be able to kill them a little bit easier in the mid and late game. But yeah, it doesn't really change anything with the game. Relic nerfs, we'll do the first three and next three groupings together a little bit. Sunder no longer stacks with each other. So you could double Sunder somebody and actually get this 10%. I guess it's not there. You get the additional damage stacked on top. So instead of 10%, it would be 20% if you double Sundered. So it was a little strong. No longer can you stack them. Double Sunder is going to work a little bit worse. And then also Sundering Blast now does 10% current health instead of 15, which is mostly big on the splash damage if you're hitting multiple people. Let's say you hit 4 people. Instead of 60% health, you're doing 40% current health. Big swing. Next up, Perfect Emblem. The damage dealt debuff is going down from 15 to 10, 15 to 10. And then the amplification debuff per stack on Emblem of Increasing Peril is now 5% instead of 10%. So this is now reducing attack speed, movement speed, and damage dealt. Same with this one, just with a less cooldown. This one is attack speed, movement speed, and damage dealt. And then the debuff damage dealt amplification is now only 5% instead of 10%. So it would be 25% total instead of up to 45% total, which is an insane nerf for this item. But honestly, it deserved it. It reduced your damage by like 50% for like 5 seconds. It was actually crazy. I do think both of these are still fine if you want to be able to kill a frontliner or if you want to be able to get rid of shields. Sundering Blast still does that very, very well. Horrific. Do they have a lot of gods that need to use like ults to get out of the slow, or they don't have any CC immunities and they use a lot of auto attacks? Emblem is still going to be a fine relic. It just kind of brings the top 2 relics down a little bit, and then the other relics are kind of in the same spot. But these are still going to be some of your higher tier relics. Tank bonus damage item nerfs. We're going to talk about these two together. Manticore, honestly, probably deserved. Manticore was doing maybe a little bit too much damage. You're going to have to hit some of the tank items because, like I said in my last video, tank damage was a teeny bit too high. So a Manticore nerf makes sense. What doesn't make sense is Flameforge Hammer being nerfed. Who is buying this item? This is like the Book of Thoth nerf where it's like,
yeah, they're going Deso. Yeah, make sure you remove 10 power from Book of Thoth and then ship that.
Like, it just doesn't really make any sense. This item is not seeing play like, at all. Compare it to Glorious Pridwin. When your ultimate ability is finished casting, you create an explosion, dealing 75% of your protections from items and abilities and slowing targets. And then you gain a shield equal to 90%. And then when it is being depleted, it explodes again. So this does 165% of your protections. One is literally instant, and one is when a shield is depleted or after 5 seconds. That is very easy to make that happen. You blink in ult immediately. Either they're forced to ult your ult or Aegis your ult, or they're forced to just eat that damage and then try to play around the shield. But that is 165% of your protections in basically burst, because you can combo it pretty easily to be on top of them. It's also statted very well. And then you look at Flameforge. 5 plus 10% of your protections. Now 5 plus 7%, and it's 2 seconds after you leave the area. This lasts 5 seconds. So at the absolute most, you can get this up to 7 seconds if they play like an absolute buffoon. And then it's 7%, so it's 49% of your protections, and then 35 base. This item was just not that good. It was something I wanted to try when I figured they were going to nerf the other tank damage items, like also Archdruids. Archdruids is almost 400 damage in burst that you need to absorb a little bit first. But if you stack it up and then you go in for a fight and you blink onto the backliner, this is a lot of burst that the backliner has to be prepared for. Archdruids did a lot of damage. Also, you can look at Scorching Blink. This did 100 damage, true damage, every 0.5 seconds for the next 4 seconds, and you stayed on it for 3 seconds, or you got 3 ticks of it after you left. So at the bare minimum, if you got hit by Scorching Blink, you're taking 400 damage. If you don't have beads, and you get like Blink Geb ulted, which is, honestly, it's one of my guilty pleasures, is Relic Dagger, Scorching Blink Geb, with like a Pridwin or something like that, where you just blink behind them, lock them down, ult them into the Scorching Blink, and then knock them up, and they are actually just dead to the tank Geb because of your burst from Scorching Blink and them not having a relic. So it's kind of insane how much damage Scorching Blink does. The nerf to Sunder does help, but I just think this item is just on their board as an item they needed to nerf for no reason. I don't see this item getting picked up in high ranked and competitive. Even in the few casuals I've played, everybody's building the Pridwin. Even this Pridwin, which is the worst of the 2 Pridwins, which is basically just a shield with like a little bit of damage, is better than this Flameforged. So baffling nerf with Flameforged. I think this item could have been pretty cool, but yeah, we're not going to be able to see it most likely. I think this nerf kind of removes the reason to want to buy it. Mage item shifts. The best change in the entire patch. Obshard. Let's take a look at Titan's Bane passive. Your first ability cast gains 20% penetration. Let's now take a look at Obshard. Your first ability cast gains 10% penetration. Also, did you see this? 10 seconds. What's Titan's Bane? Oh yeah, 6 seconds. Why was Obshard so obviously just neutered in comparison to Titan's Bane? It doesn't make any sense. Really good to get this up to 20%. I think 10 seconds as the cooldown is fine. It just didn't make any sense for this to be 20 seconds or 10% instead of 20%. Just to touch on some of the items that had incorrect power scaling from tier 2s to tier 3s. Book of Souls has lost 10 power. Book has gained 10 power. No longer is Book a 100 power item. It is now 110 power that you need to stack. Is it great? Probably still not. Rejuvenating Heart is now 60 power. Is it great? Probably not. Talon Trinket has lost 10 power. And Typhons has gained 5. An item that's kind of already getting bought, but, you know, you kind of got to make the item worth a little bit more so it's actually worth the buy from the upgrade. So I'm fine with this. This is fine. Tier 2 Ring is now down to 45 power. Warlocks is now showing that it's getting that 25% HP, or 25, not percent, 25 HP. Let's just take a quick look at what Warlocks is giving you. Warlocks is giving you 1 health, 0.6 magical power per stack, and you receive 5 stacks for a kill, 1 stack for a minion kill. And at 75 stacks, this item evolves, giving 10% power, or 10% magical pen. So what is this item bringing you? This item is bringing you 110 power. This item is bringing you 200 health. This item is giving you 200 mana. And this item is giving you 10% pen for 2,500 gold. This is probably one of the better items for mages in the game right now. Honestly, this would be my go-to item if I was playing mid in 90% of gods. Obviously, if you're playing something that you need the early spikes and you can't really stack, don't build Warlocks, build Deso. But if you're playing for mid-game, late-game, Warlocks is just going to start outscaling any other item besides maybe E-Staff, which is, hint, hint, probably the best mage item in the game. It's going to start outscaling at that point in the game anyway. And you're not winning the game pre-10 minutes, especially in ranked. Next up, nerfed Baka. It always makes it feel weird when it's a 0.5 second off. This is actually, somebody brought this up to me. Smite's numbers show full numerals, so it's like 5, 4, 3. And it's always weird when it's like 1.5, because then it'll go like 4, 3. But in reality, it's 4, 2.5. But it's only showing 2. And then the next tick or whatever is 1.5. And it's counting down at the same time. So it's always just weird. I think changing Eat Minion to just be a higher cooldown would have been a better idea than decreasing the active cooldown reduction. Because I do think this was pretty cool in this kit. It made it so you use your abilities, you eat, use your abilities, you eat. And like it's kind of like this tempo that you're on. With Eat Minion getting a slight cooldown reduction or cooldown, making the cooldown slightly longer, I think it would have made the character feel less annoying to play against. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Fenrir Nerf is losing 5 power in early game and then losing 25 power late game. Finally, this character is building full tank and getting 80 power. It was mind-blowing. Discordia Nerf, I've got no idea. I don't know. This character is even the best mage in the game. She's finally starting to see play. Hint, she's only getting played because most other mages aren't relevant in this meta because of just the absolute neutering to their damage. And the reason she was played because you made her solo laner stronger so he could carry her. Mind-boggling. And then another one that doesn't make a ton of sense, Guan Yu. I have not seen like any Guan Yu. I have not. There's not been any Guan. I've seen Ravens, I've seen Kuzenbos, I've seen Wukongs. I've not seen any Guan. So it makes a little bit of no sense for this character to be getting nerfed, but Conviction is now 14 seconds. Taolu Assault is losing 30 damage at every rank. Cavalry Charge is going to be going up in cooldown or up in stun duration from 1.1 to 1.5. I mean, the character just will not feel great, in my opinion. And then lastly, Marticarus, the decreased protection debuff from 4% per stack to 3% per stack on his ult. I mean, it's a nice little nerf. I think Marty still has a lot of things going for him. I don't think this percent nerf to his protection debuff is going to really change too much. But again, anything to make tanks a little bit tankier, I'm all for. Because I think tanks are really bad right now. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. 10.6. Overall opinions on it, like a 5. I think it had some good hits. The relic hits were good. And then it had some absolute misses. Actually, I'll go up a little bit. I'll give it a 7. I think it was fine. I think it was fine. Just a couple misses on some key things, in my opinion. But the patch should be out now. So if you guys are watching this, this is what's happening. This is the new game you're playing. All these changes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys again next time. Peace.